Well, we've been all over the state of Michigan, from Lansing to Grand Rapids to Detroit, and people from all walks of life are behind the Michigan experience, including Senator Debbie Stabenow.
I think it's extremely significant that in the middle of the Civil War, in fact, 1862 was the second year of the Civil War, it wasn't going that well for the Union Army. And in the middle of this, when the Capitol was actually being stormed, and they were protecting the Capitol building, we saw the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, and the Congress of the United States somehow be able to look with vision to the future about what was needed for the country. And they passed a number of important pieces of legislation that still affect us today. The Land-Grant College Act, which for the first time said that going to college, higher education, was not just for the elite of our country, but the farmers, the tradespeople, working men and women should be able to afford to go to college. And today, we have Michigan State University in our own state of Michigan. We have land-grant colleges around the country whose doors are open to everyone, and that happened in the middle of the Civil War. The Pacific Railroad Act, where they set up a process for creating a railroad across our entire country to connect the states, to be able to move commerce and to move people. And they were thinking about that in the middle of the Civil War. The Homestead Act, which gave people the opportunity to create farms and gave people the opportunity to have their own acreage and their own part of the American dream. That set up the framework for really developing our country. I think a lot of people don't realize that in the Battle of Gettysburg, and frankly, the Civil War itself, that our own Michigan 24th Infantry Brigade played a tremendous role. Our 24th Michigan Infantry was called the Iron Brigade because when they enlisted, they went directly to the front in Gettysburg. They actually arrived the morning of the battle on July 1st. And because of the situation that was occurring and the fact that the Confederate Army were moving and they were not able to hold them back, our own Iron Brigade were rushed to the front, didn't even have their rifles loaded. They loaded their rifles as they were running to the front, and they held back the Confederate troops until other troops on the Union side were able to be positioned on higher ground and be able to finally win the day at Gettysburg. Frankly, if it was not for the heroism of the Iron Brigade from Michigan that were willing to run to the front and hold the Confederate troops while the rest of their troops were gaining ground, we would not have won the Battle of Gettysburg, and we might not have won the Civil War.